right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the My Basketball Podcast, NBA Finals Edition, and the Golden State Warriors are the NBA champions. It's finally happened. It's finally set. I mean, this was our prediction since the beginning, so this doesn't surprise us. And Curry is finally, you can stop your 3 rings with no Finals MVP. Curry is finally a Finals MVP, and once again, an NBA champion. So let me get your thoughts, Ja, on the Golden State Warriors getting their 4th ring after it looked like their time for winning was over.
It was going to happen. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to focus on it. I didn't want to see it. It was already inevitable the moment that they faced Boston. There we go.
Well, yeah, Boston, I mean, they were a great team. Obviously, they got to the finals, but for some reason, they just did too many things that really screwed them up and why they didn't win this finals. One, the dropbacks on Curry and the pick and roll. That killed them for majority of this series. That even when they stopped it and Curry had a bad game in game 5, it's already game 5 now. So now the other guys getting rhythm. Clay had a good game. Andrew Wiggins his best game. And if you at least get to do that, because maybe I can understand the argument of, okay, drop back, let Curry cook. And he could be the only one cooking. Nobody else could have scored. Nobody else could have helped him win this game. But you have to score offensively. You have to be efficient offensively. You have to make your free throws. Boston didn't do that. Tatum, I'm going to get back to him, but he really disappointed me in these finals. He was too inefficient, too inconsistent, and too worried about foul call than actually playing his game. To the point where he couldn't even score on Curry. Jaylen Brown was good, played good, but also had his down moments here and there as well. Marcus Smart, who was is their third best player, really did not shoot the ball very good at all in this series. Offensively, he wasn't that very good, and he didn't have the best games. He was pretty much notably there just to draw fouls and flop. Al Horford played good, even though for some reason sometimes he wouldn't back down Curry on the offensive post and would kick out like he did in the final game of the series, final game of these finals.
Yep.
It was just too many things that Boston just threw the game away. Costly turnovers here and there, bad decision making, bad shots. Too worried about the ref, too worried about a whistle, too worried about foul being called. Just not playing their game, not playing that way. And then the strategy, of course, of having Curry drop back like Ime Udoka. I mean, what have you not read the scouting report? Do you not know this is the greatest shooter of all time? I feel like there's just too many things that happened with Boston, and they kind of got outclassed in the final 4 games of the series, even though they won in game 3. It's just the reason why they lost the series.
Basically, everything you just said right there was correct.
Yeah, but Steve Kerr, I mean, he did a phenomenal job with this team. What is this, his 9th NBA championship from player and coach, and it's well-deserved. I mean, we've seen the impact with Steve Kerr. I mean, we saw it when Mike Brown took over, and they instantly got worse when they played against the Grizzlies in the 2nd round. So he did a fantastic job with his team. He did a risky call in game 4 by benching Draymond Green.
Yeah.
But a call proved to be effective, and you take those risks when you're trying to win a championship. Draymond, who was memed and laughed at for a majority of this series, but the final 2 games, when they needed him the most, because he is a very important piece to this offense and a very important piece to this team, he showed up.
Yeah.
And he's not going to drop 20 points. That's what all this criticism about him scoring. He's not a scorer. We already knew that. So why criticize him about scoring? What he brings to the table is rebounding, playmaking, facilitating, screens for Curry and Clay, and defense. And that's what you got in these past 2 games. When they needed him the most, he showed up. And when he shows up, they win.
Yes, they do.
It's crazy to me because Clay, there was no game 6 Clay. He disappeared. He was nowhere to be found. And Clay's been inconsistent in the series as well. I mean, he had a good game 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
But the fact that Clay wasn't playing the best throughout the whole series, the fact that Draymond wasn't playing the best throughout the whole series, and the fact that Curry had an historically bad game in game 5,
yeah,
the Warriors still win, should tell you what is up with Boston and how did they lose this series.
Yep. And again, that game 4 demoralized them.
Yeah, I think, I mean, they lost 3 straight from game 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, that goes to show you. Back to Tatum. I mean, this was your shining moment. This was your time, and you got outplayed by Jaylen Brown. Now, going into the next season, you know everybody's going to be saying that Jaylen Brown is the best player on the team. Now, whether that be true or not, I don't think so, but he for sure had a better finals performance than you did. And to me, it's not close. It's not close at all. But part of the reason why Jason Tatum struggled so much, I got to give credit to Andrew Wiggins, the bust. You know, I mean, you can't deny what Andrew Wiggins has done in these finals. You know, he was clear-cut the second best player on, I mean, the entire finals, but definitely on the Warriors team.
Yeah.
He was their best rebounder. He was the best defender. I mean, he was the one guarding Tatum. And when he guarded Tatum, Tatum struggled.
Yep.
He was the one that was hustling. He was the one that was showing effort. He was getting putbacks, and he was scoring. He deserves big credit. He was a huge, integral part of this championship team, and you don't get it done without him because of the times when Draymond and Clay were struggling, and it was just Curry trying to do everything. He was there with Curry.
Yes, he was. He was picking up the load, picking up the slack.
Yeah, and you can't just dismiss him like that. I mean, there's no more bust talk. Not with the way he's played in these finals. You can't be a bust and play like this in the NBA finals. That doesn't work. So he deserves a lot of credit. Also, Jordan Poole stepped up in the final game in game 6.
Yeah.
For a young kid who's never seen the stage, and didn't seem like he was backing down from it.
Yeah. He's tough and he's creative.
Yep. And then you got, of course, Kevon Looney, who was their big man, essentially. And the Warriors' weakness, the Warriors won a championship without really a big man. Well, without a center, because they had Kevon Looney's a big man. But really without a center. And even though they knew they was going to go in this series, matched up poorly because of Grant Williams, Robert Williams, and Al Horford. And my God, Robert Williams was big time in game 6. And he deserves a lot of credit. But
moving like Bill.
What?
Moving like Bill Russell.
Yeah, I mean, he was affecting shots, he was altering shots, and he was blocking shots every chance he got.
Yep.
So it might have to be an 80 overall 2K, not a 78. But with Kevon Looney, you know, he's one of those guys that he's a role player. Everything doesn't show on the stat sheet, but he's a good defender and he's a good rebounder, and he played his role. That's all you can ask for in a role player. Play a role, stick to the game plan. You got to be a big piece and one of the reasons why we won. And that's what he was for this Golden State Warriors team. But like I said, who would have thought that team like Golden State, who suffered so many setbacks after their dynasty run, the injury to Klay Thompson.
Yep.
Well, first the injury to Kevin Durant, then the injury to Klay Thompson.
Yep.
Then Kevin Durant leaving. Then Curry fracturing his hand. Then only winning 15 games, being the worst record in the league.
Yep.
Klay hopefully coming back, then he gets injured again. So look at that. They had some promise last year where Curry was in the MVP race. They lose in the play-in against the Lakers. Then they lose in the play-in against the Grizzlies. And then they come back this year, this season, and make a statement run, bringing down all the haters, all the people that said their original championship was lucky due to injuries. They blew a 3-1 lead. You won 73-9 and blew a 3-1 lead. Then you needed Kevin Durant. Y'all wouldn't have won without Kevin Durant. Curry has no finals MVP. They took all that. Draymond Green is not even that good. They took all of that, bottled it up, and set out to prove all the haters wrong in this year. And they did it. They won without Kevin Durant. Curry's the finals MVP. Draymond stepped up in the final 2 games of the series. Klay Thompson came back from 2 devastating injuries and played a key part in the playoff run for Golden State, helping them get past Grizzlies and helping them get past Dallas with a big-time Game 5. It's just incredible how this Warriors team really just came back to the promised land after falling off the mountain.
Yep.
You don't see that with a lot of dynasties, really. And when it happens, when the dynasty does eventually get another ring, it's years down the road, 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road.
One time you seen it was with Jordan.
Yeah, that was the only thing. And with that thing, things have to go with Jordan's way. Of course, Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, 2 key parts were still there.
Yeah.
And of course, they got a good signing in Dennis Rodman.
Yep.
So that was the only time that really happened. Like with Kobe and Shaq's Lakers, they won 2002. It took the Lakers until 2009 to win another championship.
Yep.
So that's a huge gap. Like I said, things like that don't happen. So we should embrace it. We should praise the Golden State Warriors. We should give them all the love and appreciate greatness when it's right there in front of our eyes.
And also San Antonio.
Yeah, oh yeah, San Antonio. But San Antonio was always like, they didn't win their rings like back to back or anything like that. One is kind of like separate, 99, 2003, 2005, 2007. But they were still always great.
Yeah.
Even then, at least with Kobe and the Lakers, they fell like they were 7th seed, they were 6th seed. They weren't really that good. How the relationship ended with Kobe and Shaq and how they lost to the Pistons in 2004.
Yeah.
But the Spurs were always great. They were always top 3 seed. It was always, Western Conference Finals and deep playoff runs and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just congratulations to the Warriors. Boston, I know it sucks. And I know you're not happy. I mean, Boston, city of champions. Y'all don't hang up banners for 2nd place. There's no participation trophies in Boston. Got a man winning because y'all a historically great franchise, arguably the greatest franchise in the NBA.
Yep.
But maybe y'all can come back next year. We'll see what happens. Y'all season ends. You disagree, but y'all season ends here.
Hey, these finals trip don't come around all the time. You got to be really lucky and blessed. It don't come around all the time, and I don't see them making it back next year.
Sure. I mean, it took them 5 years after going to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times. It took them that long to get here.
Yep, exactly.
After being close over and over again. Yeah, Boston. Well, it's a tough loss. I know Tatum and these guys gonna be thinking about it a long time, but maybe you can use that as a learning experience, and we'll see what happens in the future. Still a young team; they still have time.
Yep.
But who knows? Yep. is the NBA championship and is the NBA finals. It's hard. It's a hard road to get by. But congratulations once again to the Golden State Warriors. That man right there, Stephen Curry, with an incredible finals and incredible game 6, who is lighting up the Celtics in game 6 and wins finals MVP. Oh yeah, not to mention, I forgot to bring this up. Celtics started off the game 14, was up 14-2. And then Golden State just woke up.
Well, it's 14-2 in the beginning. That's not a big deal, really. It's just the start of the game.
Yeah, so that's nothing for Golden State.
Is anything ever in doubt? When in doubt, believe in the chef. Really says.
So congratulations, Golden State. And that wraps up the NBA season with the Golden State Warriors on the mountaintop once again, claiming their 4th ring in 8 years. And wraps up our season and our podcast for now until further notice. But it was a good run this year. It was good playoffs. A lot of surprises, even bleeding into the playoffs. Like, I don't know, a certain team in Los Angeles not making it. Then once we get there, a certain team in Brooklyn getting swept. A lot of surprises this NBA season. Jokic being the MVP back-to-back, an incredible season from him. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, degenerate ascension. Luka and the Mavs, absolutely stunning. Many people's finals favorites, championship favorites in the Phoenix Suns. And Pat Bev talking crap about Chris Paul. It was an absolutely incredible one from Jimmy Butler's final missed 3 after a late comeback attempt from the Heat in Game 7. It was wild. It was wild. Of course, Boston and Bucks second round matchup.
Yep.
It was a great playoff run. It was a great playoff time.
A whole lot of memorable moments for this postseason.
What was your favorite, you think?
What was my favorite? Sheesh. Favorite. Probably the Mavericks versus Jazz series. That had to be my favorite because I did not expect them to be honest. I thought Utah had the opportunity and they kind of just squandered it by making Jaylen Brown turn into like one of the greatest point guards ever.
Jalen Brunson. Well, the Jazz always squandered it. They squandered the past 2 years. They squandered it this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, fortunate for Utah, but is it really? I mean, I got rid of Chris Snyder, so I guess that's there's some golf claps.
I guess I guess Jerry Sloan got to make a return. Wait, he's dead. Fuck. I'm bugging.
Yes, Jerry Sloan has passed away many years ago.
Forgot. My bad.
Either way, no, he wouldn't have made a return. Well, maybe he would, because Darren Williams is not on the team anymore. So got him kicked out in the first place. But yeah, I mean, my favorite finals memory probably has to be Jimmy Butler's Game 6. Might have to be a top 2.
Yeah,
a finals playoff memory. That was just absolutely incredible. Also, Curry's Game 4 in Boston, the 43 points.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, single-handedly kind of won them that game. Also, the Bucks and the Celtics series was absolutely fun.
Yeah.
And that was incredible. So Grant Williams absolutely acting like he was Dirk in the final game. It's crazy.
But even though they got swept, also that Brooklyn versus Boston series was entertaining to watch still, again, especially with Kyrie's Game 1.
Yeah.
And going back and forth with the Boston fans and not really caring about anything. It was cool.
Tatum game winner.
Tatum game winner, that spin around. Yep.
Also, Boston's comeback in game 2.
Yep.
Yeah, it just gets more disappointing over it. As the series goes on, it just gets more disappointing.
Yeah.
Most shocking moment, I mean, that's runner up. The Nets getting swept.
Yeah.
Easily, most shocking moment is how the Mavs just it looked like an NBA team up against an AAU team. That's how bad it was. The Mavs, the way they dismantled our championship favorites.
Yep.
And it was mostly yours too. So I know y'all like to, and the fans love to win, put themselves in win-win situations and love to backtrack and all of that. But no, we're not gonna sit here and act like the Suns were not championship contenders and not championship favorites heading into the playoffs. We're not gonna do that because they were.
Yep, yes, they were. Yes, they were.
And I'm talking to the audience with that. Does everybody want to backtrack and all that and say, oh yeah, well, Suns weren't even gonna stop it. I always had the Warriors. Stop it. Might have the Warriors and the Suns in the Western Conference Finals. Most people had the Suns going to the finals and winning.
Yep.
So why wouldn't they? I mean, look how they played. But they pulled a second round 07 Mavs.
I think the most coolest moment also was the Minnesota Timberwolves winning the championship. That was the coolest moment to me.
Oh, Minnesota! I love to celebrate them. Man, them players never been to playoffs like that. that franchise had no success.
Yeah, but it had to feel good for one person only.
Pat Bev.
Yep.
Yeah, he was acting like he won. And he want to talk so much. Pat Bev is funny. You want to say so much about Chris Paul, but then he's celebrating the playing victory. Like,
yeah.
I think Minnesota should fire their head coach, if I'm being honest. Because I think with the competent coach, they beat Memphis.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with Quinn Snyder, they could beat Grizzlies.
A series they should have won, but they lost. That's Quinn Snyder's playbook.
Well, there's a difference between Chris Finch and Quinn Snyder, you know.
Yeah. Is a huge difference. Now, yeah, Quinn Snyder, I think he would have got them to beat that Grizzlies team. I hope. Well, I mean, maybe because their point guard actually passes their big man, so or their guard actually passes their big man. It might have been different. Those are the NBA playoffs. That was the NBA Finals, and this was our podcast. It was a fun season, an amazing season. Had so many great moments. Had our Snub 25 list, which did wonders for us. It helped us a lot. The top 75 list after the NBA stole that from us.
Yeah.
Had breakdowns, had playoff moments, and this was enjoyable. And we'll see what the future holds. But for now, we wrap up the NBA season and our season. So thank you guys for watching today's podcast and our podcast from season 2. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, support the channel, give us feedback, anything anything you want to do to just give us support, anything, all is appreciated.
Yep, and also tune into our social media, the TikTok and Instagram.
Yes, please do. And take you to all the followers we gained from TikTok and also the new subscribers that we gained from YouTube this year, because we did grow on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
And we're still growing. We still have a lot to do. And exponential growth in our TikTok page. Also still have a lot of growth there. Appreciate all the love from both communities, even if they hate Jordan. So here we go. And of course, once again, and for the last time season, I'm Evan.
I'm Ja.
And this was the Mind of Basketball podcast.
Season number 2, finals edition.
Let's go.